Hi everyone, my name's Daniella Quill and I'm the Union President here at the Union of Students. Thank you so much for tuning in to learn all about what your Union of Students does on your virtual tour of the University of Derby. But just before we get started, I want to introduce you to the rest of the team. So we have Faye, who is our Vice President Activities, Melanie, who is our Vice President Education, and Samira, who is our Vice President Welfare, and together we lead the Union. But just before we start, I'll briefly talk about what the Union is. So we're actually a democratic organisation. We were voted into our post by the student body, but we're also a charity. So anything that is spent here at the Union through our outlets, it all gets circulated back into the student experience. Our main aim, our mission, is to transform the student experience. I know a lot of people who may be watching this, any parents or even grandparents, when they were at university, the student union tends to be where the bar is, which we still have, but also the place where all the students get together and get political and do strikes and protests. And yeah, we still do those, but now we are so much more. We really do impact student lives in so many different ways. But first, I'm going to start off with talking about our advice service, and it really is one of the most important departments we have in the union. I can imagine for lots of students, I know for myself when I first starting university is scary, it's daunting, and for many of you, you're actually moving out of your hometown and moving for the first time. And with that may come potentially loneliness, isolation, you may worry about making new friends, worry about fitting into your course. So we have our advice service who is able to support you through that and all the way through to the end of your degree. We help you with things like academic appeals, issues with housing, maybe conflict between housemates. We also offer our CCAS, so you're able to get free contraception as well. And that is just a snippet of the things our advice service does. So make sure you don't bury your head in the sand and come speak to us if you have any issues with anything. And next we'll move on to our activities. So those are split into three sections. We have our sports, our societies, and our student-led services. So to start off with our societies, we have so many, as you'll be able to see on your screen, and that is just a snippet of what we do. Every week we have more students coming to us after finding like-minded people and creating brand new societies. And they can range from being the most wackiest things, so we have Dumbledore's Army, all the way to academic societies. So we have a law society, we have a biology society, and so many more. There's so many different reasons as why you could create a society, but also join one as well. They're pretty reasonable price to join. It's a very small joining fee, and you're able to meet lifelong friends through them as well. And next we have union sports. So our sports teams compete every Wednesday in a league, and we compete against other universities. For example, we compete against Birmingham, and obviously the big sport giants in University, Loughborough, and there are so many different sports clubs that you can get involved with. As you can see on the board, we have things like our footballs, netballs and rugbies, sports that some students may have played at college. But we also have our sports that students may have never played before. And the best thing is the ability ranges from kind of newbies, people who have never played the sport before, all the way to scholars. So professional people, semi-professional sports people. So there's such a wide range of sport level to get involved with. And then next we move on to our student-led services. So the first part of our student-led service provision is the media side of it. So we have our Phantom Radio, Phantom Television, and also Phantom Newspaper. And these are great ways for students to get involved and learn brand new skills. You don't have to be a journalism student or be studying media to get involved in these opportunities. They're open to everyone. We have students who are studying English, maths, history, all sorts, creating their radio shows, and they air them every week. So it's a really great opportunity for an extra added skill to put on your CV as well. Next we have volunteering. We have so many volunteering opportunities here at the Union, but also there are so many volunteering opportunities around Derby and Derbyshire that we want so many students to get involved with. We've created a brand new platform this year where we've put all of our volunteering opportunities. We work with charities, we work with local businesses. We want to make sure that students are giving back but also building up their skill set so their CV is getting better and better by the time they graduate. Also, we have our fundraising element. So last year we raised over £70,000 for charity, and that is through our raise and give provision. Every year we have nominated charities that we work with very closely. Our students and also staff go out and fundraise for those. We really want to beat the target this year, and we're really looking to do it. We're really on track to make sure we beat that £70,000 and raise even more money for charity. Next, we're moving away from activities and moving over to our student voice. So here at the university, we have an academic representation scheme. So, for example, my role is to represent students, and I work with Melanie, who represents students, as she's the role of VP Education, therefore she represents them through this academic representation structure. Every single classroom, we aim to recruit at least one rep to make sure they're representing that cohort directly. Reps are so important to make change. We're a team of 4, and we're representing over 20,000 students. And you can imagine, if you split up the student-to-officer ratio, it's going to be a little bit tricky. Therefore, it's so important that we get as many students involved in representing them students, so we're able to represent them effectively as well. We work as one big, massive team. We have over 900 reps recruited this year, and they go through training, which is also accredited as well. There are so many big changes that a rep can do, so it's so important that we get as many involved as possible. For example, there was a course that was about a few years ago where a rep went to kind of make big change. They were learning about the Mediterranean sea life, and they were just doing it inside the classroom. And their rep stood up and thought, this isn't good enough. We want to get there, we want to get some hands-on experience so students can really experience what it's like. So they lobbied, and now every year, that particular course, in that module, students go to the Mediterranean to learn about the Mediterranean sea life. And that is how big a change can be made in just one small module as well. So next we have our commercial outlets, which I mentioned before. We have shops, we have coffee bars, we also have info point staff, so it's kind of our reception desk. There are so many ways for students to get involved with what we do and also make some money on the side. Like I said, everything that goes into the union gets circulated back into the student experience. So every meal deal you get, every coffee, every tea, it gets put back in to make students experience it even better. We hire over 100 staff members here at the union. And honestly, our opportunities are really, really great. We're very flexible. You don't work for our schedule, we work for yours. As we need to make sure that people are able to earn enough money, but also study at the same time. You need to get that balance right. And as you can see on the screen, there are just a couple of quotes from our student staff members as well. So here are some of the headlines from last year. I was an officer last year, so I managed to get involved with some of these opportunities as well. We managed to do so many things. We hosted our first ever varsity against the University of Hertfordshire, which is a big sporting event for one day where all of our sports teams compete against theirs to win the varsity trophy. Unfortunately, we didn't get it, but we know this year we're on to a winner. We also managed to circulate rainbow lanyards to every single site, which is great. It's the biggest we've ever been able to populate our sites. That is to celebrate LGBT History Month. And alongside that, we did so many other things. We get to do so much in just a space of a year, and every single thing we did, we had students get involved and have such a great time doing it. But look into this year. So this is all the things that we're aiming to do or have already done. Starting with, so we're hosting our varsity home this year against the University of Hertfordshire, which is incredible. Like I said, hopefully we win. But also we're launching Disability History Month, which we've really done for the first time. Also People of Faith Month, which we're doing for the first time. And also continuing with our Women's History Month event as well, which will be as a conference, which officer team will be leading on. Finally, to round it up, I hope you're enjoying your virtual tour of the University of Derby. What I've said today really is just a snippet of things that we do. So when you're looking around, wondering what you could do, make sure you visit our website, derbyunion.co.uk, and get involved in all the opportunities, see everything that we do, it is all on our website. As it's so important to know what you're going to be doing in the classroom academically, make sure you pick the right course. But university isn't just about that, it's about the entire experience. So make sure that when you're looking for your university, you look for the right student union as well. And hopefully we are it.